So now here I'm having okay multiple branches of conditions are available. This is one branch, there is a second branch, there is a third branch. So three levels of conditions. So now what is a suitable if conditional statement now? Simple if or if else or else if.
Fills.
Hmm. Why else if? Right. In this case, if you're having that multiple levels of conditions, compulsorily we have to go with else if condition. That's it. Simple. If you're having only one condition, either true or false, then we can go with that if else condition here. Okay. Now here we have multiple branches are available. So in that case, multiple levels of conditions we need to apply so that we are using else if condition. If the average marks are greater than or equals to 60, then I would like to show the message here. Observe this one. I'm writing one if condition inside another if condition over here. Depends upon the requirement. System.debug. You are in grade A. Else if. Next branch. If average marks are greater than or equals to 50 and average marks less than 60. That means 50 to 59. If he got 60, again he will go into grade A. So that I'm checking the condition. If the average marks are greater than or equals to 50, including 50 also, he will be in the grade B. Now, I would like to show that message. You are in grade B. Else if the average marks are greater than or equals to 40, and average marks are less than 50. That means 40 to 49. If he got 50, then he will be going into grade B. Now, I would like to show the message system.debug, you are in grade C. That's it. Okay. So now this is my if block over here. Inside this if block, we are using one more if condition also over here. Okay, depends upon the application requirement. Based on the complexity, we can choose what kind of if conditional statement is suitable, then we can able to use that over here. Clear? Understand the concept now? Next, now let me execute this piece of code now. So now here I'm executing this piece of code. When coming to this of 5 subjects, in all the subjects he got scored very good marks, more than, okay, almost 90% of marks. So now he will be pass. Now click on execute button. My request has been sent to the server. Go to the debug log file, select the checkbox debug only. Now it is indicating the details. Congratulations, you got passed. Your total marks are 453. Your average marks are 90%. That means more than 60. So that you will be in grade A. Okay? Now, next. For example, I'm giving that in maths, sorry, in physics, you got only 37. In the remaining subjects, he got scored very good marks over here. No, but only in the physics he got 37 marks. What is the result that you are expecting? Fail. Right. Now let's execute that piece of code. Select the debug only here. It is indicating you got failed. Your total marks are 400 here. So now tell me, have we calculated any grade for these failed students? No, that will be calculated only for passed students. Okay, so this is how we can able to use nested if conditions. It depends upon your application requirement. Clear? Understood the concept now? Next. So these are the 4 formats are available as part of your if conditional statement. Next one, switch statement. Second is if conditional statement, that is switch. Then what do you mean by this switch statement? What is the use? Now let's see. Basically, switch statement also one of the conditional statement. Okay, this is also one of the conditional statement which is used to add one or more number of levels of conditions to be get verified before executing the statements. Like in else if condition, we can keep on add multiple branches of conditions. Like the similar way, we can also prepare switch statement as well. Now, so now in this case, switch statement is used to, okay, prepare a collection of branches of conditions which needs to be get validated before executing the statements. Now, basically, switch is one of the common conditional statement available in all the programming languages. It may be old programming languages, it may be latest modern programming languages also. Everywhere we are having switch statement common, okay, from the beginning. But as part of Salesforce, switch statement is not available from the year 2000. First.com platform has introduced in the year 2000, but during that time, as part of Apex programming, we are having only 2 conditional statements are available. First one, if conditional statement. Second one, ternary operator. We don't have any switch statement from Apex programming in the year 2000. Why? Why Salesforce did not introduce? Because switch statement is available in all the programming languages, whatever we have in our IT industry. This is available in basic programming also, Pascal also, C also, C++, Java, .NET, Python. Everywhere we are having this switch statement. Why Salesforce people did not introduce a switch statement in the year 2000? Because Salesforce people are purely offering cloud services. All the functionalities are running okay inside that Salesforce server, not in our local system. So that here, Salesforce people has identified there are some performance issues in switch statement. Okay, they have identified few performance issues in switch statement which will take more time to do the processing. For that reason, Salesforce people did not introduce the switch statement in the year 2000. From there, so many developers, so many administrators requested to Salesforce, we want switch statement also as part of our development because it's one of the common conditional statement that we have in all the programming languages. In certain cases, switch statement is okay exactly suitable, but we don't have that switch statement in Apex programming. So many Salesforce developers requested to Salesforce, please introduce a switch statement also as part of our Apex programming. Then later, Salesforce people did some R&D on the switch statement. Okay, they did so many performance optimizations also, and then finally they have changed the switch statement syntax completely, and they have introduced the switch statement in the Winter 18 release onwards. That means from 2018 Winter release onwards, Salesforce people introduced switch statement. That means for 18 years of time, that means 2000 to 2017, we don't have switch statement in Apex programming. We have only if and the ternary operator. No switch statement at that time. So now in 2018 winter release onwards, Salesforce people introduce a switch statement as part of Apex programming in conditional statements. Okay, so that here, as part of this switch statement syntax, it is completely different from other programming languages. So now in this case, your C programming, C++, Java, C Sharp, your Python, switch statement syntax is common, same. But as part of Apex programming, switch statement syntax is completely different. Because Salesforce people did some performance optimizations, they have changed the syntax of this switch statement completely, and finally they have introduced in Winter 18 release onwards. Now, in this case, switch statement is going to be having some benefits also. It is having some benefits also. What are those benefits? We'll see one by one. Now, when coming to this switch statement, we have two formats are available. In the switch statement, we have two formats are available. What are those two formats? We'll see one by one, both the cases as well. Okay? Now, make a note of this syntaxes here. The first syntax, and then we'll see a use case, and then second syntax, we'll see that. Now, switch statement is a common conditional statement provided by Salesforce as part of Winter 18 release onwards. Switch statement is a common conditional statement provided by Salesforce as part of Winter 18 release onwards. By using switch statement, we can add multiple branches of conditions to be get verified before executing the statement. We can add multiple branches of conditions to be get verified before executing the statements. Syntax. We can specify switch on variable name or expression name Here we can specify when value 1. We can write the statement when value 2. When null. And finally, we are having when else.
थांबा.
Done with this? Now, so let's see how can we use this switch statement in order to validate that conditions. We'll see. Let me explain that syntax first. Here we can use a switch on variable name. That means what variable value you would like to compare, we can specify the variable name, or if you are preparing any expression or formula, we can specify that formula name also or expression name. So whatever the variable value which you would like to compare and whatever the expression name which you would like to compare, so now collect that variable name or expression name and then compare with the various branches over here. Suppose if the variable value is matching with that value 1, then immediately it will enter into the block. Whatever the statements that you are written, these statements will be getting executed. Once the statements are getting executed, it will come out of the whole if switch statement. It won't cross check the remaining blocks over here. It won't cross check the remaining blocks. Only one block of statements will be executed at a time, not multiple. Okay? Now, let's see. Suppose, for example, it is comparing this variable value with the first branch value. Now, these both are not matching. Both has been failed. Condition is failed. Then it will compare with the second branch over here. Suppose if the second branch conditions are matching, then it will go to that block of statements. Whatever the statements that are written, these statements will be getting executed. And then it will come out of that whole switch statement automatically without verifying the remaining branches. Suppose, for example, upon checking these conditions, it is verifying the variable value with that value 1 positive branch condition. It has been failed. It will check with the second branch value. This is also not matching. So it is also failed. It will check the third with the third condition. This is also not valid here. This is also failed. It will check with that all the branches also over here. All the branch conditions are failed. Suppose if all the branch conditions are failed, automatically it will go to that else block statements. It will execute this. Okay. If all the conditions are failed, it will go to that else block statement automatically. Clear? Understand the concept now? This is how switch statement will work. But in this case, switch statement can execute only one level of one branch conditions at a time, not multiple here. Okay? Clear? Simply we can say this switch statement is exactly same like as your else if condition. Yes, I will show you that one. Okay? Now, so now here it will be exactly same like as else if condition. Now, suppose if the variable value is empty, okay, you haven't assigned any value. In that case, we can check with that null also here. Whether this variable value is null or not. If it is null, I want to do some different operation. I want to show some message. Please enter the value for the variable like that. Okay, clear? Now, so now in this case, switch statement and in your else if condition both are exactly similar almost. But switch statement is more faster. It will be providing that less number of characters. We no need to form the conditions manually. That will be preparing the switch statement automatically by itself internally here. How? Let me show you today here. Okay, clear up to this one? Next. So let me take a small use case now here. Make a note of this one. Now, at a time, that means here we can specify. We can compare a variable or expression value with a collection of branch values. If any of the branch value is matching with the variable, then it will execute the associated branch statements. If all the branch values are not matching with the variable, then it will execute the else block statements. Note, always at a time, only one branch statements will get executed. Let's take a small use case. Write an Apex program to print the weekday name based on the specified weekday number as below. Weekday number, weekday name. Weekday number one, this will be Monday. Two, Tuesday. Three, Wednesday. Like that, seven, Sunday. Suppose if the user has entered the weekday number less than 1 or greater than 7, I want to show the message invalid weekday number. Whatever the number that we have supplied at runtime, based on that number, I would like to print the corresponding weekday name. We are having 7 days in a week. For each and every weekday, I'm assigning some number, like a Monday 1, Tuesday 2, Wednesday 3, like that here. For each and every weekday, I have assigned some number. If I'm passing number, it should return that, it should print that weekday name. How to do that by using this switch statement? Now let me show you with practical. Done with these points? Now, let's see with the practical use case. How can we implement? So now tell me, as part of this use case, how many variables we need to define? I need to pass the weekday number as input. Based on that number, it should print that weekdays comes under what? Is it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, or what? One. We need to pass one numerical value here because we are passing integer value. Weekday numbers are 1 to 7, so these are integer values. So we need to pass one integer value to the program as input. So I would like to define one variable of type integer. Now let's see. I'm writing this program here. Integer weekday number, I'm assigning the value some 4. I don't know this 4 is what. Is it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday? I don't know. My program has to decide. So how to write this statement now? Switch on variable name. What is the variable name? Weekday number. Weekday number. Okay. Now, generally when you go to the C programming or Java, you are writing like this. Switch off weekday number. We are writing like this. Okay, when you go to C programming, C++, Java, C Sharp, everywhere we are following this syntax. But as part of Salesforce, we are having a different syntax. Switch on weekday number. That means please consider this weekday number as a base to compare with the variable values. Now, here I'm using when 1. That means if the weekday number value is equals to 1, then what is the message you would like to show? I need to show the message system.debug. This is Monday. Here we are writing only one statement. Even though you are writing one statement for each and every when block, we should have the braces mandatorily. Okay, please remember the point here. Okay, each when block should have the starting block, ending block compulsorily. Even though you may be writing zero statements, one statement, multiple statement, this will be common. Generally, when you go to the if conditional statement, what we have discussed, if you are writing only one line of code, then no need to use braces. If you are writing more than one, braces is mandatory. But as part of when block in switch statement, each and every when block should have block. That means starting braces, ending braces. Even though you are writing one line of code, two lines of code, whatever it might be, braces is compulsory. This is the difference. Now, when 2. System.debug. This is Tuesday. When 3. System.debug. This is Wednesday. When 4. System.debug. This is Thursday. When 5. System.debug. This is Friday. When 6. System.debug. This is Saturday. When 7. System.debug. This is Sunday. When else, that means if all these values are not matching, then I would like to show some message. What is the message you would like to represent? I would like to specify system.debug invalid weekday number. Please enter the value between 1 to 7. So now this is a switch statement here which I am going to use as part of my implementation. Okay, so we are taking up this value here, weekday number variable value. What is the value of this variable here? 4. Now it will compare this value here. 4 is equals to 1. Is the condition is satisfied? No. It will check with that second one. 4 is equals to 2? No. It will compare with the third. 4 is equals to 3? No. It will compare with 4 is equals to 4? Yes. Then it will enter into the block. It will execute the statements whatever we have written. Okay? Clear? Now, here you can raise a question. Sir, why can't we go with else if condition in this case? Now, let me show you that part also. I'm going to that else if condition over here. How to prepare? Let me explain. Here I'm defining the variable here. Integer weekday number equals to sum 4. How to write the statement here? If weekday number equals to 1, then we need to write the statement here. System.debug This is Monday. Whatever the message you want, you can write, no issues. Then else if weekday number equals to 2. I would like to show the message Tuesday. Else if weekday number equals to 3, system dot debug. This is Wednesday. Like the similar passion. Number 4, 5, 6, 7. If it is 4, then 5. 6, 7. Else, I would like to show the message system dot debug invalid number. This is a piece of code. What did you observe between these two now? Where we have used more characters?
else if
In if conditional statement or as part of your switch statement, else if
Else
condition.
if.
Now,
statement.
Else if.
so now in this case, what is the difference you have observed between these two now? Except the
It is
characters
very
here. Forget about the
simple,
characters.
very simple,
Braces.
easy to understand.
Now, in this case, let's see, whenever we are using this if conditional statement, you have to form the conditions over here. Manually, we have to prepare the conditions. Each and every condition we need to prepare. Now tell me, have you prepared any conditions over here? No. If you are not preparing the condition, who will prepare the condition? Salesforce will prepare the condition. Switch statement will prepare the condition internally by default. This is a specialty. Okay, there is a specialty that as part of switch statement, we no need to form the condition. Conditions will be preparing by switch statement internally by default over here. Okay, understand the concept here? So that here we no need to prepare the conditions manually by our own. So that we no need to use more number of characters, so we can write the business logic by using very less number of characters, so we can make that code simple, easy to understand, easy to maintain. That too, if the number of characters are less, then compilation time will reduce, and then execution time will reduce. It will improve the application performance as well. So for that reason here, depends upon the need, we are going with that switch statement. We are not using else if, we are using switch statement over here. Clear? Now. So we no need to form the conditions manually. Those will be automatically preparing by switch statement internally by default. Clear up to this one? Next. Now here I am going to be executing this piece of code. Weekday number 4. That means what? This will be comes under Thursday. Now click on execute button. Select the debug only checkbox. Now it is indicating this is Thursday. So now it is going to be representing this value over here. Suppose for example, I'm giving this value some 9. Do we have any weekday number with the name number 9? No, we are having up to
No.
7 only. Click on execute. Now see the result. Select the debug only. It will represent the message invalid weekday number. Enter the value between 1 to 7. Clear? Now, here you can raise a question. Sir, this is a numerical number. So directly we are comparing here. Suppose if it is a string, then here we need to specify the character by enclosing with single quote. Clear? Now, in this case, let's see here. Okay, in this case, let's see. Now, at that time, how to do that one as part of your statement here? If it is an if conditional statement, how to do that one? Now, if it is a characters, we need to compare like this here. A, B, C, D. Like that, we are going to be comparing. Now, in this case here, I want to compare how. Suppose assume that this is a string type over here. Assume that. Hmm. Then how can we compare? Here also we need to compare here how A. Now, that too I want to use exact comparison here. Exact character, capital A. What can I do? Here if I am indicating big A number as a small a, will it be acceptable or not? This one. Double equals is for what? Comparison. What kind of comparison? Text comparison. In text comparison, how it will compare? By using normal. Text comparison means normal character comparison. It will check this character A, here also A or not. Is it uppercase or lowercase? One is lowercase, one is uppercase. Will it do the exact comparison? No.
No.
In that case, it will treat that okay, small a is equals to capital A because here it won't check any okay binary comparison. It will use only text comparison. Simply, it will compare here also a, here also a or not. That's it. Is it uppercase, lowercase? It won't consider anything here. It won't bother about that case sensitivity. Now, if you want to do exact comparison, then what we have to do?
Equals function.
Equals
Dot
a
equals.
method. Then we have to use dot equals. That equals. So we get number dot equals of capital A. That means we need to use equals function. But here we have to use equals function. Here we no need to use any equals function over here because switch statement directly will be using that binary comparison by default. Switch statement by default will use binary comparison. Whenever we are using some characters to compare, switch statement will be using binary comparison, not text comparison here. If it is an apex if conditional statement, we have to use equals a function. But here we no need to use any equals function. It will be using the binary comparison internally by default. Okay? Understood the concept now? Now. This is the
So
speciality of the
switch.
this switch
So,
statement.
so, so switch statement is using binary comparison, not text
Right.
comparison.
Not text comparison. Switch statement always will use binary comparison. In if conditional statement, we have both the facility, text and binary both. If you want to use text comparison, use double equals. If you want to use binary comparison, we have to use dot equals a function. Only one, only binary comparison, no text comparison here. Okay, clear? Now, whenever if you want to use binary comparison here, then better to go with switch statement. Don't go with that normal if condition statements. Okay, next. Clear up to this one? Understood the concept now? Next, one more. Let me show you one more example. There I would like to use that one more format of switch statement. Let me take a small use case which we have discussed previously. In the previous sessions, we have discussed about that example here. Now my requirement is I would like to represent the season name based on month number. Whatever the month number value that I have supplied as input, based on that month number value, I would like to find out the corresponding season name. If the month number value is between 1 to 4, then it will be under winter season. If the month number is between 5 to 8, it will be summer season. If it is between 9 to 12, this will be under spring season. Okay. Now, suppose if the month number value is either less than 1 or greater than 12, I want to show the message invalid month number. I would like to show the message. Then how can we do this use case by using switch statement? Now let me show you. Okay. Now, in if conditional statement already you are done. Now in switch statement, how to compare with multiple values? Let me show you. So now let's see. Here I would like to define one variable of type numerical because I want to pass month number as input. Month number will be 1 to 12. That means numerical. So I'm defining one integer variable. Integer month number equals to some 7. I don't know this month number 7 is comes under what? Is it comes under winter season, spring season, summer season? I don't know. My program has to decide. So now in this case here I'm using this switch statement. Switch on month number. How to write the statement here? When one system dot debug, this is winter season. When two, now let me come to the point here. I will give that information here. Okay, there is an option is available. Let me show you. Now system dot debug. This is winter season. When for system dot debug, this is winter season. So now tell me, how do you write the same program by using if conditional statement? Okay, how? How? Hmm. In if conditional statement, how to write that same piece of code? Hmm. Now we are checking that. Integer month number. I'm giving the value some 7. How to write the statement? If
The
greater than
number
or equals to
is
1
1 and
and
month number less than or equals
less
to
than or
4.
equals to 4.
4.
Now, here we are going to be writing the statement. That means we are using range conditions over here. Now, here we can able to show that message. But when you come to that switch statement, range conditions will not be supported. This is the problem. Okay. In switch statement, range conditions will not be supported. Like for example, if you want to write 1-4, it won't support. Okay, it won't support that. We need to specify the value exactly here with which value you would like to compare. Okay, now here we have an alternative. We have an alternative. What is that alternative? Let me show you. If the month number value is either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, the season will be the same, right? Yes. Here also we have written the same code. Here also same code. Here also same code. Here also same code. So in all the 4 places we are having same code is available. It's a duplicate code, right? Yes. In this case, to avoid this kind of problems, they have given one alternative solution. Instead of comparing each value separately, we can compare a collection of values at a time in switch statement. How? When 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. That means if the month number value is either 1 or 2 R3, R4. Only R operator, no end operator. Please remember the point. Only R operator, no end. Now, if the month number value is either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, okay, if the month number value is any one of this, it will be executing this piece of code here. Suppose if the month number value is either 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, then we can show the message summer season. If the month number value is 9 or 10 or 11 or 12, in this case, we can specify spring season. When else? We can show the message invalid month number. Invalid number. Please enter the value between 1 to 12. That's it. Clear? Understood the concept now? Now, here observe this one. Here we are having this range is very small, 1 to 4. Okay, fine. Suppose for example, if my condition is like this, if my condition is like this here, let me check. Suppose if the condition is like this, how many values are available here? 10. Okay, 50 to 59, 10 values. Here also 10 values. Now, in this kind of situation here, if you want to write the 10 values, it will be occupying more characters here. In that case, whenever if you want to implement range conditions, go with if conditional statement. Because range conditions are not possible in switch statement, so that we can go with if conditional statement. Okay, see, both are having some similarities, both are having some differentiations, both are having their own specialities also. Okay, now clear up to this one. So not only comparing a single value, we can compare that variable value with a collection of elements also by using switch statement. Okay, now let me execute this piece of code. Now the month number 7. 7 is comes under the second range, so it will be summer season. Select the debug only. Now it is representing that result. This is summer season. Suppose if I am giving the value some 12. 12 is comes under spring season. Click on execute. Select the debug only. Now we are indicating spring season. If I am giving the value like some 14, it will show the error message. That means here invalid month number, or please enter the value between 1 to 12. We can show that error message also. Clear? So this is how we can able to implement our own switch statement features. It may be comparing with one value or comparing with multiple values also. Okay. These are the two formats are available as part of your switch statement. Clear? Next. Iterative statements. These are also called as looping statements. Looping statements are these are simply called as loops. Now, So what do you mean by iterative statements? Iterative means what? Repetition. Okay, repeatedly. Okay. So now basically iterative statements are used to execute a piece of code repeatedly till the required number of times. Okay. In order to execute a piece of code repeatedly till the required number of times, we are using iterative statements. Generally, if you don't have any iterative statements here, then what it should be done? Let me explain. Suppose, for example, assume that I want to print some welcome message on my debug log file. I want to print some welcome message on my debug log file. So that I'm writing the statement like system.debug. Welcome to Apex Programming. So now in order to print the message once on my debug log file, I'm going to be using the help of this statement system.debug welcome to Apex Programming. I'm writing this piece of code. Upon executing this piece of code, now this piece of code will be printing this message. How many times? Only one time. Okay, only once it will be printing this message on my debug log file. Suppose I want to print this same statement two times here. I want to print this message two times on my debug log file. What we can do generally? Hmm. What we have to do? We have to write that same statement one more time. Then it is going to be printing that message second time also. That means first system.debug statement will be printing the message one time. Second system.debug statement will print the message second time. So two times I have written the piece of code. Suppose I want to print this same message five times on my debug log file. What can I do? I need to write that same statement five times. This is the third time. This is the fourth time. This is the fifth time. Five times we need to write. Then in this case, it is printing this same message five times on your debug log file. The same message will be printing five times on your debug log file. Because five times I have used system.debug statement, so now these statements are going to be printing the messages five times on my debug log file. Clear? Now, so now here in this case, now tell me, even though it may be one time or five times, statement is same, right? Yes, the statement is the same. So the same code I have written multiple times. Is it a duplicate code, right? Yes, it's a duplicate code here. So in this case, to avoid this kind of duplicate problems, to avoid this kind of repetitive statements again and again and again, instead of writing that same code multiple times, we are going to be using the help of the feature called as iterative statements. Now, so that by using iterative statements, instead of writing the statement multiple times, write it only once and execute the statements repeatedly till the required number of times, whatever you want. It may be two times also, five times also, 100 times, 1000 times, 1 lakh times. It's your choice. Depends upon your requirement, we can execute that piece of code repeatedly as well, so that we can avoid the duplicate code, we can reduce that okay redundant code also, we can make our code generic, that means unique, so that we can able to reduce the compilation time, execution time, and we can improve the application performance as well. The facilities available as part of iterative statements. Of course, here I am having that requirement to print only 10 times, 5 times here. If you want to print 100 times, then 100 times you need to write system.debug, system.debug, system.debug like that. It will be occupying more characters, which will impact on your application performance. For that reason, instead of writing this same code again and again and again, we can write the code only once. Write the code only once and then repeatedly execute that same piece of code. Whatever the code we have written over here, repeatedly execute this same piece of code, okay, till the required number of times. Depends upon your requirement, repeatedly execute this piece of code. It may be 5 times, it may be 10 times, it may be 20 times, it may be 40 times, whatever it might be, depends upon your requirement, we can execute it. Okay? Understood the concept here? So, iterative statements are used to execute a piece of code or a block of statements repeatedly till the required number of times. By using iterative statements, we can avoid the duplicate code inside the application. We can make our code generic so that we can improve the application performance as well. Now, in this case here, what iterative statements are available? Apex provides four iterative statements. Okay, we have four iterative statements are available in Apex programming. First one, while iterative statement. Second one, do while iterative statement. Third one, for iterative statement. Fourth one, enhanced for iterative statement. These are the four. While, do while, for, and the enhanced for. These are the four iterative statements are available in Apex programming. Then how each and every iterative statement look like? What is the syntax of this iterative statement? How to use them to execute a piece of code repeatedly? Okay, we'll see in tomorrow's session. Tomorrow we'll see the practical concepts of iterative statements, and then we'll move forward to the concept of arrays. Okay. Once the arrays are done, then we'll enter into that object-oriented programming. From there, we'll see how to write the code inside the class. What exactly a class? What is an object? How to define the methods and variables? Everything we'll see one by one. Okay. Now, do the practice on these features over here. Now, I will share these notes also. Okay, I will share this Google Drive notes now. So now here, do the practice of these features today. Tomorrow we'll see iterative statements concept, and day after tomorrow we'll see arrays. Once the arrays are done, fundamental concepts are over. Okay, thank you.